Hey Army, if you're watching this video right now, chances are you already know. You've already read it. You've already cried. And maybe, just maybe, you're watching this video with that familiar tightness still sitting in your chest. Because what Jimin'S said on Weverse, those words were not just ordinary words. They were the most honest expression of a heart that had been carrying years of longing. From Park Jimin, who had been quietly preparing something extraordinary alongside his 6 brothers, and then simply, without any fanfare, said to every single army in the world, "I want to promote our song soon." 5 words, but the weight behind them? 5 years of waiting. Today, we're going to talk about all of it. The long road that Jimin and BTS traveled to reach this moment. What was really happening behind the scenes, why those words made millions of ARMY break down in tears, and why this is one of the most historic moments in the entire journey of BTS and their fandom. Stay until the end, because there's one part of this story that I promise you're going to want to replay again and again. To understand why Jimin's words hit so deep, we have to go back to 2022. June 13th, 2022. That date is remembered by millions of ARMY around the world as one of the heaviest days in the history of this fandom. The day when RM, Jin, Suga, jhope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook officially announced they would be stepping back from group activities. The reason? Mandatory military service. An obligation that had been waiting for a long time, but still felt like a punch to the gut when it actually came. One by one, they entered the military. Jin went first, December 2022. Then the others followed throughout 2023. And finally, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, the Magne line of BTS, the ones who always carried the youngest energy in the group, had to temporarily set aside their identities as idols. Think about that for a moment, ARMY. 3 years. No joint concerts. No new group album. No moment of all 7 of them on the same stage. The world kept spinning. K-pop kept evolving. But there was a void that no one else could fill. Only BTS, complete and together. Yet during all of that time, the members never truly disappeared from ARMY's radar. They were still there, in different ways. Through short posts on Weverse, through carefully worded messages written in the gaps between military duties, through small moments that felt incredibly precious precisely because they were so rare. And Jimin, even from within the barracks, even in the middle of his duties as a soldier, still found time to write for ARMY. Still took a moment to say, "Take care of your health. Drink enough water. Don't sleep with the fan or air conditioning on too much at night." Not the words of a superstar, but the words of someone who genuinely cares. Someone who, even on the hardest days, never forgot the people who loved him. And then came July 1st, 2025. Suga became the last member to complete his military service. Serving as a social service worker, he wrapped up his duties just a week before that historic live took place. And when it happened, what could no longer be held back was the reunion moment that millions of people had been waiting for. Weverse Live, the first time as a group since September 2022. All 7 members of BTS, RM, Jin, Suga, jhope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, present at the same time. Appearing from the practice room, sweaty after a recent choreography session, joking around with each other like nothing had changed. But in truth, everything had changed. They had all grown. They had each gone through things that shaped them into new versions of themselves. And that Weverse Live broke records. More than 7.3 million viewers watching in real time. 7.3 million people, ARMY. All sitting in front of their own screens, in different corners of the world, watching those 7 men come back together. And almost all of them were crying. During the live, RM was honest. "This is so frustrating. We can't reveal everything we're preparing right now." An admission that made ARMY even more curious and even more emotional, because they knew that behind RM's impatience, something enormous was being built. Suga added the assurance. Announcements would come soon. And indeed they did. Not long after, Big Hit Music officially announced BTS's comeback with a new album and a world tour scheduled for spring 2026. But the journey didn't stop there. October 13th, 2025, Park Jimin turned 30 years old. And he celebrated it in the most Jimin way possible. Not with a lavish party, not with a big public event, but by sitting in front of a camera and having a genuine heart-to-heart conversation with ARMY through Weverse Live. He said, I'm not someone who really likes celebrating birthdays, but thank you for saying happy birthday to me. I can't believe this day has come around again. There's a tremble in those words. I can't believe this day has come around again. Because the year before, his 29th birthday had passed in the silence of military barracks. There was no army who could greet him directly. No warm live like this one. And now, suddenly, here he was, 30 years old, sitting in front of a camera, with the entire world greeting him. Jimin also talked about his nerves when he made his first public appearance back at Paris Fashion Week in October 2025, an invitation from Dior that marked his very first solo schedule after nearly 2 years away. I was so nervous, not only because it was my first solo schedule in about 2 years, but it was also the first time I was showing myself to fans after such a long time. So I really wanted to do well, he said honestly. A Jimin who always looks flawless on stage, openly admitting his nervousness. And that's exactly where his power lies, in the honesty that always makes ARMY feel close to him. But the part of that birthday Weverse lived that truly broke hearts was when he spoke about the BTS comeback. With excitement he couldn't hide, with eyes that shone even through obvious exhaustion, Jimin said, "Our work is going smoothly. All the members are working really hard. And like I said before, we're so nervous and excited at the same time because we keep wondering how you'll all react to it." And then, when a fan asked how many songs would be on the upcoming album, Jimin laughed and replied with that playful energy only he can pull off. "How many songs do you want? 100? 50? 20? The more the better? Haha, but I'm still not going to tell you." Jimin. Always Jimin. Even at 30, even after 2 years of military service, still playful, still endearing, still making every ARMY's heart melt all over again. And this is the moment we've all been building toward. Among all those moments, all the lives, all the messages, all the updates, there is one sentence from Jimin that still makes countless ARMY cry every single time they think about it. "I want to promote our song soon." That line came out just like that. Spontaneous. Sincere. No script, no preparation. Just a feeling that had been held back for far too long, finally spilling out in the form of words. Our song. Not their song. Not BTS's song. But our song. A pronoun that, whether intentional or not, pulled ARMY into the story too. Because for Jimin, and for all of BTS, the music they create was never only theirs. It has always belonged to ARMY as well. And that word soon, there is an ache in it. A restlessness that had been building for years. Imagine you've spent months preparing the most meaningful gift you've ever made for the people you love most, and you can't give it to them yet. You have to wait. Wait for the right time. Wait for all the preparations to come together. And the longer you wait, the more desperately you want to hand it over. That is what Jimin was feeling. And ARMY around the world felt it too. On Twitter and X, hashtags about Jimin and his words were immediately trending. Across ARMY forums, thousands of posts appeared, some writing long threads about how meaningful that sentence was, others simply posting one line, "I can't stop crying." One ARMY fan wrote, "Jimin said our song, not our music or our album. He always finds a way to bring us into every step of his journey." And that's true. It has always been true about Jimin. Those moments from Jimin were part of a chain of events that continued to confirm one thing. The BTS comeback was unlike anything that had come before it. December 16th, 2025, BTS held another joint Weverse live, this time from the practice room. All 7 members were visibly sweaty and fresh off a practice session, but their excitement was impossible to contain. RM openly said, "We want to show everything quickly." Meanwhile, Jungkook and jhope, with their signature mix of seriousness and humor, admitted, "We're only about 10% ready." 10%. And that alone was enough to keep all of ARMY wide awake at night. Suga added a promise that felt like a warm hug on a cold night. Announcements were coming very soon. And on January 13th, 2026, at midnight KST, Bigot Music officially announced the BTS World Tour schedule, following the album pre-order announcement that had already sent millions of ARMY scrambling to their screens. Starting from July 2025, all 7 BTS members flew to the United States to begin working together on their newest music project. The first group album since every single member had completed their mandatory military service. A genuinely new chapter. And all of it began with honest words on Weverse, with small, unfiltered confessions that turned out to carry an extraordinary depth. There has always been something that sets BTS apart from every other music group in the world. It's not just the music, though the music is undeniably extraordinary. It's not just the choreography, though no one would question that either. What truly sets BTS apart is the connection, the relationship they have built with ARMY over more than a decade. Weverse is not just another social media platform for BTS and ARMY. It is a bridge, a place where Park Jimin can appear on his own birthday, talk for hours without any script, and millions of people feel like they're sitting in the same living room with him. A place where a BTS member in the middle of military service can still say, "Take care of your health. Drink enough water." A place where the words, "I want to promote our song soon," can become one of the most viral, most emotional, most unforgettable sentences in the entire history of this fandom. Because ARMY is not just a fan base, and BTS has never treated them as just an audience. Jimin once said he was impatient to live life fully before he got older. And that is the spirit that has always lived inside every BTS song. The drive not to waste time, to love wholeheartedly, to always be fully present for the people who matter. And now, ARMY, we are standing at a moment that for years we could only imagine. BTS is back, all 7 of them, together, sweating together in a practice room, laughing together on Weverse Live, collaborating together on an album that will be one of the most anticipated releases in global music history. A new album, a world tour, a spring 2026 comeback. And Jimin, Park Jimin, the one who said he wanted to promote their song soon, will finally be able to do exactly that. On stage alongside the 6 closest friends of his entire life. In front of millions of ARMY who never stopped waiting, not even for a single day across 3 long years. There are no words sufficient to describe how massive this moment is. But perhaps Jimin already said it perfectly, with simple words that came from the most honest place in his heart. "I want to promote our song soon. Our song, Jimin. Our song, all of ours. ARMY, thank you for staying with me until the very end of this video. If you cried along the way, that's completely normal. This is not an ordinary story. This is a journey of years built on love, longing, sacrifice, and hope that finally found its way home. Don't forget to drop a comment below. Which part of this story hit you the hardest? Was it when Jimin said our song? Or when he turned 30 and spent the whole evening talking honestly to ARMY about his nervousness in Paris? Write it in the comments. I always love reading your stories. If this video made you feel something, don't forget to hit that like button, because that's your way of saying, "I feel the same way," without having to type a single word. And subscribe, because we still have so many more stories about BTS, Jimin, and ARMY that deserve to be told together. Until the next video, keep holding on, because the very best things always come to those who are willing to wait. Purple Heart Bori.